Well, many of us have pledged to lose all those pounds for our New Year's resolution, but there's a group in town that wants to warn you about the dangers of dieting. The Eating Disorder Coalition of Tennessee says dieting can lead you or a loved one down the path of an eating disorder. Here to tell us more is Tracy Rathbone, Emily White, and Karen Silien. Thanks so much for stopping by.
You're so welcome.
We appreciate it. Well, first, just get us started, Tracy, as the executive director, and explain, how does dieting even contribute to an eating disorder?
Well, dieting can contribute to an eating disorder because 35% of people who diet on a regular basis develop into pathological dieting, and then 20 to 25% of those will develop an eating disorder. So that is a very interesting statistic when you look at teens who diet, and they're 80% times more likely to develop an eating disorder than their peers who do not diet. Dieting is not without risk.
Okay, and here we are. It's that time of year. We're making those New Year's resolutions. We're trying to lose the weight. And coming from the psychological aspect of that, how much is that having a role on some of these disorders?
I think it's a huge impact. If you turn on your television anytime from New Year's Day on, every single show, no matter what the topic is talking about, this plan or follow step A, B, and C.
Right, to get in shape.
Right, and it gives us the idea that if I just do this for 6 weeks, my problem will be all over. And I think the reality is that behavior change is a process, and it requires a lot of support and guidance and the ability to moderate through the hard times and to see that it's a longer path than just a quick fix. And I think that's the danger of some of these advertisements and shows and magazine articles this time of year.
Right, and we're going to quickly run through some of the signs of these eating disorders, but before I want to get to that, Emily, because I know you're recovering from an eating disorder, and what disorder is that?
Anorexia.
Anorexia. So with that, did concerns about weight then play a role in the development of your eating disorder?
Somewhat. I think that, I think everyone kind of has that. I just took mine a little too further. It was more about the underlying issues, I think, more than anything.
And then what do you feel is the most important aspect of your recovery? Because you are on the road to recovery, right?
Yes, ma'am. I would say the most important would be, one, that my recovery wasn't perfect. I didn't expect it to be perfect, and secondly, that I needed help, that it wasn't something I could do by myself, and that's why the Eating Disorder Coalition and my doctors and all that was very important in my recovery.
Well, you look great.
Oh, thank you.
I just want you to know that. Let's quickly run down, because we do have some signs of both anorexia and bulimia. The first one with anorexia, rapid loss of weight. So how much weight are we talking about here?
The weight loss is initially 20% less of your total body weight.
Okay.
And that is what is a diagnostic criteria. But typically, the pathological dieting starts to lead to more and more weight loss and loss of body mass index, and then there are just numerous health complications that become involved once there is starvation.
Okay, also the loss of menstrual cycles, who actually won't have a period.
Right.
Excessive weighing, so somebody who's constantly getting up and down on the scales, checking out their weight. And then another one of these symptoms, brittle hair and nails. I've never heard of that, and what is that about?
Hormonally, if you think about it, when the body doesn't have enough body fat, menstruation stops, and that is all of the female hormones which keep our skin clear and our nails growing. And I mean, the body literally goes into survival mode, which is that only the most important bodily functions are going to work. So it's very dangerous.
Important things to make sure you look for it. Quickly, I want to run through the signs of bulimia, because this is very important. We need all the women to know about this. Eating extreme amounts of food, self-induced vomiting, be looking for that, excessive amounts of exercising, and then finally, again, with this, another symptom, the same as with an anorexia, the brittle hair and nails. Well, we sure do appreciate your time, a very serious topic and a serious problem with so many people suffering from this. And Emily, thanks so much for coming on. We appreciate your time, and that's awesome. We're proud of you. All right, Tracy and Emily and Karen, thanks so much for all your time.
Thank you.
Thanks,
If you would like more information about eating disorders, you can call the Eating Disorder Coalition of Tennessee. The number's right there. It's 831-9838. They're located, by the way, at 2120 Crestmore Road, right here in Nashville.